Today on Brilliance Business TV, we have Rosa L. Antonini. Rosa is a self-help author, software engineer, and entrepreneur. Is a unique blend of self-development and technology. Stay tuned. Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have a wonderful guest on the show today, Rosa Antonini. I can't wait to have a conversation with her because I'm all about self-improvement, self-development. So it's going to be a great conversation today. We're streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're also on the E360 TV network. We're also on USA Global Radio and Television Network, Business Innovators Radio Network, and MSP News Global.com. Let's bring in our incredible guest, Rosa Antonini. Rosa, welcome to Brilliance Business TV.
Thank you so much, Mark, for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you today, Rosa. Let's get started with our first question. What inspired the creation of the zero-sum game of you and the 63-day challenge, and how does that reflect your personal journey?
Mark, the zero-sum game of you, this book came to me really as an inspiration. I am a software engineer. That's what I do. I work with data on my day-to-day. But, I've always been into self-development, self-help, how to get better. And one day I was just thinking, I'm like, what is what make that difference? Why some people, let's say, they keep in this loop of trouble. Doesn't matter what they do, they just continue having issues after issues. And then you see people that, I don't know, they're always moving forward. And it's not just the things that you can see tangible, but also internally, how you manage life, right? Your emotions, your attitude to do things, right? And that concept came to me in a flash. I'm like, it's a zero-sum game. But if you have played chess, do you like chess?
I don't play chess, no. Maybe a couple of times years ago.
Yeah, so I do like chess. And the chess is a zero-sum game, an actual game. But that means that only one player can win, right? So in the zero-sum game of you, it's a little different. This game is something that we're playing every day, but it's a game where the two parties are within ourselves. That means like everybody, I believe everybody, there is good in every person. Also, there is attitudes, there are situations that make someone maybe not to fight for what they want, try to go forward to achieve those things that they want. So every day we get up in the morning and we start this game, right? In which we have a part of us, let's say that's the leader that wants to achieve, wants to do things, wants to go places. And then we have the other part that maybe is the one that doubts, the one that have, I don't know if I can do this. And he started giving you a lot of excuses. Well, every day, one of those parts in us will win. And that winner, basically, every time that part of us win, that part is going to get stronger, and making sure that the next day and the next week and the next month, it will be easier to win. So that is this concept of the zero-sum game of you and how we're all playing, independent if we do it by default or if we do it on purpose. So that's how the zero-sum game of you came to life, Mark.
I absolutely love it, Rosa, and it's so true. Everything is an inner game, and I agree with what you're saying. We have our higher self, but we also have our ego self as well, and it's about balancing them and learning how to listen to your higher self and just observe the ego without taking it too seriously, because if you ignore the ego, it gets louder. But if you acknowledge that it's there, but you know that it's just there to protect you, but it's not real. Some of the things what it's saying is not real. It's just trying to protect you, but sometimes it can scare you as well with things that are not even true. But it is all an inner game. I love the work you're doing, Rosa. How do you balance authenticity with professional expectations, especially in a competitive field?
Yes, so we see that a lot today in every field, actually, in every business. So authenticity to me is one of my core values. Like I cannot be know myself. I really can't. And sometimes in business that can pull you, let's say, behind if there is a lot of politics, if there is a lot of rules, and if you raise your voice, let's say, all the time. So it's about learning to communicate the message without sacrificing your core values, but in a way to navigate according to your business, in which you can be authentic to yourself. Because I think if we lose our authenticity, a person cannot be self-fulfilled. So let's say, and I see that in business, some people, let's call it, they play the game. And they are, if you see them with one person, they behave in a certain way. Then you see them with someone else, and they behave different, right? So it's kind of like they fluctuate according to the atmosphere or the person that they are. And sometimes they might say the things that the other person want to hear. And this might give you a title, he might give you some short-term benefits, but in the long term, I believe, and I'm a big advocate about living with purpose, living according to what makes you happy, right? And not following, let's say, success means different things for different people. So it's
Yes.
for that life, what is your purpose? And then making sure that you're authentic to your purpose and the core values. Because in order for you to have that balance in the professional world, you need to know what do you stand for, and being able to set up boundaries accordingly to that.
I agree totally. I think it's really important to follow what we love, be ourselves, be real, be genuine, and follow our heart's desires as well. I love what you're about, Rosa. What advice do you have for people struggling to find their purpose or balance between career and family?
Yes. So the first thing I would say is that you are not alone. I mean, there are so many people that might feel like for example, you have some people that they might want something since they're very little, right? And they always wanted to achieve something. But I don't think that's the default. So if you haven't found that purpose, if you haven't found something that you can say, this is really what brings meaning to my life, you know what? Be compassionate with yourself and try things. Try things because sometimes we don't know what we don't know. So if you try something and let's say you don't find a meaning there, don't take that as a failure. It's just an experience. It's just something that you can say, okay, this is not the one that I want to be. Fine, let me move on to the next one. So keep an open mind of possibility and just try new things. Just open mind and try new things. And eventually you will find those things that resonate with you and that you're gonna feel like, oh my God, you can do it without effort because it really aligns with your own self.
I agree totally. If you could give one piece of advice to someone starting their self development journey, what would it be?
Someone that start with self-development, I would say that self-development is not something that you achieve and you get.
It's
Self-development is
ongoing,
really
isn't it?
a journey and it doesn't stop. So if you see it as a journey, you're not going to be trying this stuff with this stress. Like, let's say self-development should not give you stress. Self-development is self-discovery. So it is a balance between knowing yourself, your core values, understanding your strength, being able to set up boundaries for those things that you don't will compromise who you are, and also just like understanding that the work is a lot about you and it never stops. You've seen sometimes, I mean, I don't know if you have, Mark, but I have like very young people in the late teens, sometimes early 20s, where they feel unsatisfied. Someone came to me and say, I feel like a failure. And I'm like, what? You're 21. How can you feel like a failure at 21, right? But why is that? Because they go to social media and there they have everybody, friends, people their age, posting a lot of things that is not real, the reality. But it makes it look like if somehow they
Very
figured it
true.
out, right? They have everything figured out, and then they make you feel like, oh, something is wrong with me. And the moment that someone believes that there is something wrong with you, then you're not gonna try harder. So the first thing is like, no, there is nothing wrong with you. You are in the exact place where you need to be. And self-development journey is a journey. Take one step at a time, self-discovery, curious mind, and never compare yourself with others. And don't use anything that you see in social media as a validation or as a standard. Live your own life. The success, your happiness, and your self-fulfillment is yours to build according to whatever makes sense to you.
That's great advice, Rosa. What do you envision for the future of your brand and the conscious global community of action takers?
Yes, I can see and I believe and I would like to see every individual defining success on their own term, right? Where they following the crowd, where they know how to set their own boundaries, and when the success is defined for that self-fulfillment. And why? Because when you live in self-fulfillment, you always want the best, not for you but everyone around you, and you have that love and compassion for people that you don't even know. And I think that that becomes a domino effect. So if someone can achieve that, live in that success on their own terms, and they feel like, I'm living with my purpose, then that spread. It's almost like not a disease, right? But let's just say something contagious and something that brings the best on the person in the person, and they will always celebrate and try to help everyone around them, among themselves. To once you experience self-fulfillment, you really want others to experience that as well. That's what I would
I
like to see.
I love how you're helping people, Rosa. It's a great journey of going on self-improvement. Can be really hard at times, facing some of your biggest fears, some of your biggest doubts and obstacles and circumstances, but it's definitely worth it to become that better version of yourself. Now, also, Rosa, you're in the great collaborative book with our beautiful friend Brenda Dempsey. Just share a tiny little bit about that, please.
Yes, yeah, that was Voices of Women. I actually have it right here, Voices of Women, the book. So I'm very happy and I feel very honored when Brenda reached out to me. And I think she reached out to me mostly because, with my book, The Zero Sum Game of View, I support these programs in Uganda to help young adults in financial need so they can learn an actual tool, right? So they can get better jobs. So she liked a lot what I'm doing. So anyway, it was an honor that she had me in her book with, there are amazing women as part of that anthology, and everyone is just a different voice, and then you can see the struggles, let's say, some tips on leaderships, coaching. So it's a very good book. It has different perspective, women different around the world. And, it's like sometimes we live in a way like, you think about your life, your experience, the things that you have gone through, or the people that you know. But then when you see, like Brenda put together this book with so many different cultures, women coming from different places, and it's kind of opening your eyes to all the different challenges and achievement that happen, and that, other cultures so far away from you are also, working towards the higher good. So very grateful to be part of that anthology.
I love it. I love it. And I love Brenda too. Rosa, now I know people can connect with you and learn more about you at your website at rosaantonini.com. That's rosaantonini.com. Who should connect with you, Rosa?
Yes, please send me any messages. I'm very active on the Instagram, and on Instagram is Rosa L for Lopez Antonini. So it's Rosa.L Antonini. I try to reply to any messages within 24 hours, maybe 48. And if you have any question, any topic, just send it to me. I really love helping others. I keep working on my, data engineering. I create solutions. I really have passion for that. But I really have passion also for helping others and share all the things that I have learned that have helped me, right? That have helped me, because it was a very long journey where I come from. So I really want to help anybody that, my message, my writing, and some practical tips. I always like to provide practical tips that someone can go, use them, and see the result, right? And that is one thing, Mark, that when you asked me before about self-development, I want to just go back very quickly. When you try self-development, if you see social media or anything around, there is so much information that it's very easy for a person to feel overwhelmed. There is a lot of data. So when you are researching any topic, so let's say in self-development, or it could be anything else, pick one thing, pick one or two, give it a try. It takes time. That's why in my book, I said the 63 days challenge. Those 63 days are to build habits and try to eliminate bad habits. It has a lot of stuff in those 63 days. But my point is, don't get into the people saying that you're going to get rich in a week, that you're going to build this in 3 days, that somehow you can reprogram everything in, I don't know, a day or two. Those shortcuts don't work, and it's going to make you waste time.
I've been reprogramming for a good 2 to 3 years, and it's still ongoing.
Yes, and also follow the people that have done those things. Just because someone preached something, that doesn't mean they have done it. So make sure that you follow whoever have done it. They have the experience, and give it a little time, okay? Anyway, that would be my advice.
I would encourage everyone to connect with Rosa at rosaantonini.com. That's rosaantonini.com. Rosa, I thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you today. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you, Mark, so much. I really appreciate what you're doing. You're doing an excellent job, and you're such a beautiful soul. And I'm just grateful that you have me as our guest and to bring me to your audience. And anyway, everybody,
the pleasure's been all mine. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Until next time, bye for now.